Alright, what's going on, guys? Phantom here. How you guys been? Me? Not bad. I just got done playing, this. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3DS. Pretty good game. Honestly, a lot better than the 64 version, which I also have. Waited a long time to get my hands on this. Finally got it, finally played it, and I loved it. This was, without a doubt, one of the best releases on the 3DS. Next to Ocarina of Time, of course. Both superb games. Now, I didn't play it on a 3DS XL like everyone else did. I just have a standard 3DS. But even still, the controls were pretty good on it. And, so I'd let you guys know what I thought about it. Couple of things I didn't care for, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, first off, I really loved the graphic improvement. Obviously, going from the 64 to the 3DS, just loved it. Looked awesome. First time I saw it, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, "Oh yeah!" It was familiar, but it had a fresh look to it. Words of the angry video game are familiar yet fresh. What else did I like about it? Pretty much everything. I mean, it's Zelda, obviously. I love Zelda. I loved Majora's Mask because it had a good balance of fun and frustrating. It had both. It had both in equal measure. Fun because it was just, it was a completely separate story. It had nothing to do with the Triforce. It obviously had nothing to do with Zelda. It is more or less, Link trying to find Navi after Ocarina of Time. And of course, he gets sucked into this alternate world, which is kind of cool because it looks like, all the people from Hyrule, but it isn't. Obviously. Anyway, there's a lot of things I loved about that game. Of course, I had things I would always go after in a certain order. For instance, in terms of masks, I would always go after the blast mask first. Really useful. Second of all, bunny hood. Out of every mask in that game, my favorite was always the bunny hood. At least in Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time, it was stupid. It looked like some idiot with bunny ears. But at least in Majora's Mask, you looked like an idiot with bunny ears, but you were fast as shit. Awesome. Loved it. I did like how they changed some of the bosses. Because when I got to Odalwa the first time, I'm like, oh, this will be a standard battle. But then I saw that big eyeball on the back of his head, and I'm like, whoa. Freaky. Awesome. Loved it. Goat, same thing. Wasn't expecting an eyeball to come out of his back. Definitely made the boss battle a lot better. And for those of you who don't know, he was mentioned on Screw Attack's Top 10 Zelda Bosses. If you've never seen that, go check it out. Go to screwattack.com. Check out Top 10 Zelda Bosses. Anyway, Gyord. Oh, God, that one. I loved and hated that battle. I loved it because it was awesome. You're fighting this giant fish, and unfortunately, he was featured on the worst Zelda bosses, but I didn't think he was that bad, really. But in the 3DS version, they definitely gave him an upgrade. Aside from the usual eyeball. They made him look really vicious. Even made him look armored on the front. His head, his fins were armored. Awesome. Now, what I wasn't expecting was in the middle of that battle for him to... Anyway, I wasn't expecting him to ram the pillar and sink it. That part of the battle always scared the crap out of me. I'm like, oh my god, I'm in the water with this giant fish. It freaked me out, gave you that Jaws sensation. You're like, there's this giant thing lurking around waiting to eat me. But this time around, it wasn't as bad because he didn't come after you, really. I mean, he tried to suck you in, but for the most part, spoilers, if you haven't played it, turn the volume down. I don't want to ruin anything for you. I'll give you a minute. Okay. He tries to swallow you, so what you gotta do is either just, nail him with the boomerang blades, which I didn't really care for, or try to get him to swallow some of those floating explosives. Boom, blow him up, hit the eyeball. Now, the one boss battle I didn't care for was Twin Mold. They kind of ruined that one for me. I loved it in the 64 version. You grow giant, you've got your sword, cut them up. This time around, you used your fists. I don't play a Zelda game to watch him like punch somebody. He's got the sword. I don't see why they had to change that. What the hell? I might as well mention some of the changes I didn't like since I already started with that. Speaking of mask, I love the stone mask when you're doing the Pirates Fortress mission to get the eggs back. I would always go after that one too, because I'm like, with that, you don't go to worry about the pirates. They just I don't see nothing, going about their business. No, this time, they put it right in the middle of the damn fortress. I'm like, come on. Are you kidding me? That just, it didn't ruin the game for me, but it just, it threw it off a little, I'll admit. Still loved it, but... Anyway, the final thing that I didn't really like is how they changed the dungeons when you're on the moon trying to get all the masks, or give all the masks to the children. The ones in the 64 version were okay. The ones in the 3DS version were way more frustrating. And maybe that's because I don't have a lot of hand-eye coordination. My thumbs are kind of jittery, so... Especially when you're trying to control the Goron going around those corners. God, that one, the Goron one, took me I'm not kidding, 20 tries to do. And so did the Zora one. Ugh. I hate that. It's like you gotta go dolphin that shit and then keep going while the time's ticking down. Alright. Negativity aside, I love this game. If you haven't played it yet, get off your ass and go get it. And if you don't got one of these, same thing. It is definitely worth the money. Definitely worth the money. And I mean, if you played Ocarina of Time 3DS, you gotta get this one. You can't. If you are a real Zelda fan, you can't play Ocarina of Time and not get Majora's Mask. If you do, I will find you. And I will tape your soul to your ass. Yeah, I know that made absolutely no sense. Sorry if that ruined the video. Anyway, go on and try it. If you're like me and you want to play an old game with a new twist, you gotta give it a try. It is definitely worth your time. Well, that'll do it for now, bitches. But I will see you guys later. And remember... Oh, the ninjas, bitches. Alright. Peace out, guys. I will see you later.